Hope you niggas paying attention. Cashville greatest, I consider it not be mentioned. 10 years in, so I'm waiting on my pension, waiting on my stipend.
What's good, y'all? I'm Hip, and I'm back with another video for you. Today, I'm going to tell y'all about the 5 types of drugs I've been addicted to. I like lists, and so I thought I'd put together a list of all the drugs I've been addicted to over the years. And there's 5 of them, so it made for a good list. Now, doing drugs is always fun at first, but you know what they say, all good things must come to an end, and it's the same with drugs. After your body develops a tolerance to the drugs and you become dependent on them, then it stops being fun, and that's what happens when you get addicted. You need the drugs just to function normally. Some people can use drugs once or twice and stop. Or some people can use them occasionally or have a couple drinks when they're out and then leave it alone. But others, like me, can't stop. I have an addictive personality, and so when I like something, I do it to excess. And that's not just with drugs, that's everything. That's just how I am. And so it's important to be self-aware of shit like that, so you can recognize when shit like that starts happening and you can stop it or get a hold of yourself before you go down a road that might be dangerous for you. I wish I would have noticed it a lot sooner. It would have saved me a whole lot of problems. But what can you do? All I can do is try and be better now, you know? So, without further ado, here's the list of the 5 drugs I've been addicted to. Coming in at number 5, we got the drugs I've talked the most about on this channel and the ones I've had the most problem with, and that is opiates. Now, I did just about every opiate known to man, so I could make a whole list of just opiates, so I just put them all together. They all do basically the same thing to you. They have the same effects, just different degrees of strength and intensity. Opiates or opioids are pain-relieving drugs. I started out using Lortabs, Percocets, and then it just progressed from there to stronger opioids like oxycodone, morphine, opana, methadone, then of course heroin and fentanyl. Opiates themselves are not bad drugs. They help people with chronic pain and diseases like cancer have a better quality of life. It's when you abuse them that it turns into a bad thing. They are also highly addictive, and even if you take them as prescribed, if you take them for long enough, your body will build a tolerance to them. You'll get dependent on it. And once that happens, it's hard to stop. You could become physically dependent on them. And that means that your body can't function normally without them. And that's a bad spot to be in, because nobody starts out using and wants to be addicted. And sometimes it's for legitimate pain. And the withdrawals from opiates are bad, and you'd rather keep taking the pills than to go through that. It's hard to stop once you get dependent on them. Now, coming in at number 4, we have alcohol. Alcohol is one that I hadn't really talked about that much on the channel yet. So alcohol was the first intoxicating substance that I ever tried. Before weed, before anything. But I wasn't really much of a drinker. I would drink occasionally. I didn't drink that much until I got on probation and I had to stop using drugs. So then I just substituted alcohol for drugs. And like I said before, I have an addictive personality, and I'm also a creature of habit. And so I like a routine of things. I like everything to be in order. And that's good for some things in life, but other things like drugs and alcohol is not. So before long, I was a full-blown alcoholic, drinking every day. So I think it was about 2012 to 2015 when I was drinking every day. It got to a point where I was drinking from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. I would drink like a fifth of vodka and 5 24-ounce Bud Ice every day. And I was physically dependent on it. I would start shaking and stuff if I didn't have alcohol. And so it wasn't fun no more. Like, I could drink all day and wouldn't be drunk. I was just doing it to keep from going into withdrawals. And the thing with alcohol is the withdrawals from alcohol can actually kill you. And so I drank like that for a while. It wasn't until I went to jail for a few months in 2015 that I could actually stop drinking. So coming in at number 3, we got crystal meth. Now, I just did my last video about crystal meth, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. It's a bad drug. It turns you into a different person. It ruins your life. It ruins the people around your life. It's the worst drug ever. I first tried it in 2005, and I used it occasionally over the years after that. It wasn't until the last 3 or 4 years where it really got bad and it really took over my life. Once you get hooked on it, it's hard to stop. The withdrawals are bad. The side effects are bad. It's bad. Don't do it. Stay away from meth. Now, coming in at number 2, we got cocaine. Cocaine is another one I hadn't covered yet on the channel, but I'm going to do a video on that one coming up. And cocaine's a weird one for me because I didn't really like the way it made me feel. It didn't really give me the same feeling everybody else got, I guess. Like, usually cocaine is a social drug. It makes you want to talk to people and be more social with them. But for me, it was the opposite. It made me not want to talk to anybody, and I didn't want to be around nobody except the people that I was doing coke with. I just wanted to be in the house with my pack. One of the other things it does, it makes you real paranoid, so I would think everybody knew I was on coke, and I didn't like that feeling. I used it a lot of times if I didn't have opiates or other drugs that I did every day. If I didn't have those, I would get some coke and do it like that. It's also used a lot when you drink because it kind of sobers you up. And so if you're drinking and you're doing coke, it can keep you going and you can party and drink all night. So a lot of people use it like that. I know I did. Cocaine always seemed like a good idea until I did it. And then after that first hit, after that, I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So I would always have to get other drugs to come down off of it. And so the hangover the next day would be bad. Another bad thing about powder is it makes you fiend for it. Like, no matter how much you got, it makes you want more. A lot of people binge on coke, so they'll do a lot of it in a day or two span, because once you start doing it, it just makes you want more and more and more. One of the good things about coke is there's no physical withdrawal from it. So the next day after doing coke, you might have a hangover, you might be tired, you might not feel great, but after that, you're fine. You don't have a physical withdrawal from it like with opiates. It's all mental, and so you think about it a lot. But when I stopped doing it after about a week, all that went away. So it was one of the easier drugs for me to stop doing. Now, coming in at the number 1 spot of the drugs I've been addicted to is Xanax. Xanax is in a class of drugs called benzodiazepines. These drugs are used to treat anxiety, And back in 2014, I had a doctor that was prescribing me Suboxone and Xanax. And he wasn't just giving me a couple of Xanax. No, he was giving me 90 bars a month. Bars are 2 milligrams. It's like the highest dose of Xanax you could be prescribed. And I was getting 90 of them a month. That's 3 a day. And the only reason you would ever need 3 a day is if you've been on them for a long time, because your body builds a tolerance to Xanax pretty quick. So you need more to have the same effect. The withdrawals from benzos can kill you. So if you're coming off Xanax, you got to be real careful, because if you don't do it the right way, you could die. It was one time I ran out of subs and Xanax at the same time, and I thought I was going to die. I thought I was about to start seizing out and shit, but I ended up finding some, and so I ended up being okay. But you got to be careful, because it can kill you. But my next video is all about Xanax. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. It's going to be a good one. I hope y'all enjoyed the list. If you like it, hit the like button. Comment down below what y'all would like to see me talk about on here, and we'll get it popping. I appreciate all the love. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
So blessed to be in life. Separate myself from the fake. I use the hyphen. Eye of the tiger. I'm rocking mixed with Tyson. Frederick mixed with